Hey all, hope you're doing well. This is a very impromptu video. I often say that I often say things, but I often say that the best conversations end up miles from where they started. My mind's not normally like that. I don't like the way that I can't often control it or stop it, but it's also sometimes a very good thing. I have a lot going on, so I decided I'm going to take some time today. Do nothing to do with anything serious, so I was going to watch hockey. And the game starts in about 20 minutes. Let's go Red Wings. And I was thinking about some combination of my mom and Gordie Howe because my mom always loved Gordie Howe and she got me a book and Howe. So I'm just sitting there thinking of all this stuff and I'm like, so what I'm going to do is every Red Wing game I watch, try to get through a chapter of it and do that. So I wanted to point out a couple things because I just laugh and marvel sometimes the way life comes around full circle and is just poetic. And I'm in the habit of saying now, life is beautiful, too beautiful not to record everything. So all this is fresh in my mind. Then I open this, and again, I've never opened this book. My mom got this for me. And in the beginning is just I'll show it in a moment. It says, "May all your goals be achieved, and how." And then below there says, "To Steve, an outstanding fan, go for it. Gordie and Colleen Howe, Mr. and Mrs. Hockey." And that's just amazing because I, my mom did that for me, and that was so personal to me. Now, I talk a lot about stories. And before I get into that story, I want to read this. First chapter of this book is how far I made it before I had to just stop and come make this video because it was just so profound to me. So, Colleen is Gordie Howe's wife. And real quick, I don't know if I showed that. I'm sorry. I do want to get that. I thought that was neat. So, opening chapter. This is Colleen. "I've often thought about my destiny or what God had in store for a girl from Detroit who knew nothing about hockey, had never seen a hockey game, who lived nearby where Gordie Howe was living, and Gordie Howe came to watch her bowl. That was the moment in time when we first met." That just blew me away because I'm a MGTOW. I'm not big on what I consider maybe a more contemporary form of relationships, let's say. So, I do respect and value things that have value to society. I mentioned I may not like society, but society is going to be left to my 3 daughters. And I want them to have a society that is beneficial, not something that I want to tear down because it doesn't benefit me personally in the way I wish it would benefit me in some ways, whatever. That's not what life is about. But so I bowled next to Gordie Howe once and his wife at Imperial Lanes, and I have so many stories to tell about that with my buddy Ho Nasty and the gang. We bowled there frequently, and one day I just went there to get some games in, and I ended up looking at my buddy, the aforementioned Ho Nasty. Rest in peace. That's my buddy Rob. Long story there. One of the greatest people you've never met. And I say, "That's Gordie Howe, dude," and he had no idea who that was, and I was upset about that. I find it interesting that level of. I don't personally believe love like that is limited to a husband and a wife. Like, I believe those displays of emotions and love can be portrayed into to anyone that you love to that degree. And that's why I think I respect people who do that, not in the just traditional sense or anything like that. It is the commitment to something, be it a person, love, or relationship, and knowing that these people met bowling, and I see them a couple years before Gordie Howe passed away, doing what they loved and how they met. All of this coming to a head with everything I have going on with the arrest and all of that, and what's going on. It's just so fascinating the way, if you can detach yourself from what I consider the ego, which is, to me, I look at the ego as the inability to separate what's happening in the moment from the rest of what's happening. Your ego is saying, I should punch this guy in the face because it feels good right now, because in the moment I feel justified, not thinking about what's going to happen after I punch this guy in the face and think it's going to make me feel better. And detaching from everything going on, decompressing, and having all this come to a head was just so, like I say, it's these moments that I don't mind talking to you, but at sometimes I wish, man, there were just people here that would respond, or that I could talk to, like I mentioned about Honasty or Imperial and all that stuff. But I'm going to go get ready for the hockey game and read a chapter of this book. So take care.